All right, so now being 5:30 PM, I'll call the March 11th meeting of the Plympton Board of Selectmen to order. First item on our agenda is, it was a meeting with the building commissioner regarding a departmental update, but he's not available. He had a matter that he had to attend to, so we'll have to postpone that for another time. The second item is the location for the podiatrist services for Council on Aging. Is Colleen planning on attending?
No, I called her and told her there was no need. I'll be glad to talk to it,
Sure. Okay, go ahead, John.
since I initiated the agenda item. We've received a letter from the Board of Health that effectively says that we should not be doing it at the townhouse. And they go on to reference many towns that do not do it that way. So I think we basically have to go back and have a Plan B.
Okay.
And I've talked to Colleen Thompson, Director of Elder Service, and Nancy Butler, Council on Aging Chair. And so we'll pass over it for now, and I think we'll take it up at their meetings.
Great. Okay, that sounds good, John. All right, next item is our contract with Sarian Company for certified drinking water operator services, and this would be what, a renewal, Liz?
Yes, this is the renewal of our annual service contract with them, and they keep us up to date with all of the Mass DEP requirements, and they handle all of the required reporting for us. So if you're so inclined, if you could take a vote to execute the contract. And this is for a term beginning on April 1st, 2024, and it will be effective until March 31st, 2025. So it's a one-year service agreement.
You're the point person on this,
Yes.
correct? Okay. All right, any questions?
No.
Or concerns for Liz?
No.
All right, I'll make a motion that we execute the contract with Sarian Company for the drinking water operator services, and that would be with an effective date of April 1st, 2024 through March 31st, 2025. All right, so we've got a motion. Do we have a second?
Second?
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, next item is annual and special town meeting preparations.
There's nothing really new to report at this time. We're actively working with all of the departments on articles, budgets, all of that. So everything's in full swing, but nothing really to report in the way of preparations at this point.
And the annual closes the end of this month?
The last Monday in March.
Okay.
Automatically it closes.
So it's quickly approaching.
It is quickly approaching. We have, most of the articles I think are in. We have a couple placeholders that we kind of have to fill in the blanks on and figure out,
Okay.
are we moving forward, are we not? And if so, finalize some language.
Right.
But I think we're in good shape.
All right, great, thank you. All right, how about warrants paid?
Warrants paid is $20,857.53. And this includes, the largest portion of this was KP Law and the Eversource bills. And then we had some smaller ones for Pitney Bowes and for Comcast Business.
Thank you, Liz. All right, how about the town administrator update?
So we have been actively working on budgets, and I updated the debt schedule, and I have given copies to all of you so that you can take a look at that. If you have any questions, let me know. And our financial team internally, we're all working very hard to figure out our finances going forward and how we might want to structure things and keep our debt at an even level as some of that falls off.
Okay.
I'd like to reopen,
Sure. Did you have anything else?
No, that's fine.
Okay.
You can go to that.
All right, so town administrators updates. So John, you want to go back to the location for the podiatrist services for Council on Aging? So I'm sorry, we, John said you were coming.
Well, I was, I changed
But you're
my mind.
here.
I changed my mind. So I realize it's a dead issue, but I didn't want to go back without, I didn't want to go back without me saying something. And bear with me, because I'm not eloquent, I'm not an easy speaker, and I'm a little upset. First, it never even occurred to me that I needed to speak with the Board of Health. And in my correspondence with Liz, that never came up. And like, we had no conversations. It went from, we'd like to do this, to, and that's just crazy. I find that several of the arguments in the Board of Health, I got a copy of their letter, received a copy of their letter from John. And they noted that I never asked them. I didn't know I had to. I note that they didn't include me in that letter. And obviously, that directly affects my department.
Right.
So that was upsetting for me. I think that their arguments are spurious at best. I think that their same arguments could be applied to the blood pressure clinic and the sugar and cholesterol checks that we do. There's no privacy and there's medical waste. But we do them because it's not really a big deal. I had support from the nurse who said, you know, this is silly. The doctor knows what he's doing. He's done this for years. He has antiseptic spray. He controls, the toenails aren't flying all over the place. He controls it. The cleanup is done by the doctor afterwards. I spoke with Carver. Cleanup is done by the doctor. They have a room that, my impression is that they use it for medical stuff, but they use it for other things as well. They use it for that because there are doors that they can close, pocket doors. I asked them about sharing services. No, because they have a waiting list. This is such a popular service that they have a waiting list. So they're not available for us. I could call Wareham, I could call Mary, I could call, but, you know, why are we going to drive people that far? That just makes no sense. Giving people rides, we have a ride service. So the issue is that going to a podiatrist is $65 to $80 to get their toenails cut. Having a licensed physician, surgeon here costs them $35. I think that we need to figure out a way to give the seniors more services in Plympton. We have luncheons. We have them in the church. We don't have them here. I wouldn't really want to eat in this room a lot, and I certainly don't want to prepare food in this room. I think you need to give a little thought to how that's going to happen. And, you know, maybe we divide a small portion of that room off and make that a medical room. You know, you just throw up a wall, but that's an expense, and we don't want to incur more expenses. So basically, I just didn't want to let this go without saying anything. So thank you for your time.
Well, it's not necessarily a dead issue. I think it's just a non-go here. That we want to try to find a way to make this happen for you. We all, I think I can speak for all of us, that we support this. We know there's definitely a need. We just don't think this is necessarily the best location for it.
We have ideas for other locations that would be any different. I mean, all of the spaces, all the COAs, they're public spaces. You know, they. Again, I spoke mostly with the Carver COA director, and their doctor does all the cleaning. Their janitor doesn't clean it up. It's just the doctor is in control of the situation.
I think it also has to be a public space, because I don't think a doctor's going to want to go into a private home not knowing anybody. And I think the alternative of, say, doing the old townhouse is somewhat the same. People, you know, they want to know there are other people there, because it's a medical procedure, and they don't know who's, you know.
And, you know, I'm paid for 10 to 15 hours a week. Most weeks I work more than that, and that's fine. It's Plympton, it's a service, what else do we have to do? You know, I like the people, I like all of you, it's just, you just do it.
We like you too.
But, you know, if you did something down there, that's more of my time. And, you know, I don't want to give more than I have to give. If you could think of a way to do it, I'd be really pleased to hear that, because since I walked in here, people have been asking me for that, and it's taken me 3 years to do it, because, you know, I'm not real quick. But, you know, I thought, well, we've got it solved now, and then it just all blew up. So if you can think of a way to do it,
Let us take this back and see what we can come up with.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just to throw out other possibilities, I think maybe you addressed it, but house calls is a possibility.
I don't know, and I don't know that that would be cheaper. I mean, do you think you're gonna get a trained physician to go to your house for less than the $65 or $80?
You know,
This
I
is
know,
somebody
and
who's
it
retired.
used to be the way, and it may be a way that's coming back. And then there had been some discussion, I think maybe with us last week, about transporting our people down to the doctor's office.
I'm gonna guess that he's actually retired and doesn't maintain an office, because he does this in several COAs, and how much time could he?
Where else does he do it, Colleen? Do you know?
I think he does it in Carver, Wareham, Marion, and it seems to me when I
So
was reading
he's
newsletters.
More
I
down
found-
south, okay.
Yeah, his office when he had it, and I'm not sure that he doesn't, was in New Bedford
Okay.
or Fall River, so down in that direction.
Okay.
I happened to talk to the nurse too, just to kind of reinforce that, because I was having my blood pressure done, and she indicated that almost all these podiatrists who do this are retired.
Yeah.
That,
This-
you know, it's a nice way for them to.
Yeah, it's a great service.
Okay, then this is, again, not critical, but this is my correspondence with Carver, and
Okay,
the nurse lent her voice of support.
Okay.
So, it just,
I do think we need a plan B. You know, we can't let it go. We just got to figure out how to make it
right, we
happen.
gotta figure out how to make
I
it
don't
work.
think that our office space is particularly clean anyway. I think that the area that the doctor would be working would be clean. My understanding is that they put a, what are they called? They're not called tucks, but with those sheets. They put
Yeah.
a sheet under the foot, they spray them with antiseptic, and then they do the job. And then they fold it all up and throw it away, and it's done. I don't think it's a threat to the patient. I don't think it's a threat to our space, but it's up to you guys.
Let us work on it.
Yeah.
All right.
We do have a lot of extra space. It's just not well laid out. The only space that's over there, that could easily be converted. But right now, the veterans agent uses it 2 hours a week. You know, has her own desk and files.
At night, and it wouldn't
Yeah.
interfere with the proprietary.
But
We
she
could
should
even-
be in another spot. She shouldn't have to feel uncomfortable either.
We
Right.
could move her upstairs. She would probably actually
Yeah.
like it
But then the
better.
veterans would
Yeah,
have to
but
get
the
upstairs.
veterans,
Right.
We have the ramp now
Well,
and the dedicated entrance.
yeah.
as long as they're
That
not,
would actually not be bad either, because then she could have just that one door unlocked if she has appointments, so she could control better.
why don't you
That's
talk to
something,
her?
I'll talk with her. I saw her earlier, but I'll give her a call and see how she would feel about that.
So, you know, if you can think of a way to make it work, I'd appreciate it. And if you, I know this is way off left field, but, you know, give your support to the fire station so that that building can get into use for other purposes, and
Right.
then it's a moot question. So, all right.
Well, thank you for coming out.
Thank you, Colleen.
All right.
Thank you, Susan.
I have one thing in correspondence too. This is for the sign-off for the annual MS Cape Cod Bicycle Event scheduled for Saturday, June 29th. And they just need the sign-off from the Board of Selectmen acknowledging that they'll be using the roads, and we will be in touch with both chiefs and the highway superintendent to make sure that everybody is in the loop.
Okay. All right, any questions or
Nope.
concerns?
No.
Okay, all right, I'll make a motion that we approve the request from Bike MS for their cycling event to use Plympton roads on June 29th, 2024, with the usual stipulations and approvals that we require.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, next item is the minutes from 2/26. Bree sent those out.
No problem.
There were just a couple little typos that she fixed. You guys both good with them?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make a motion, we accept the minutes from 2/26 as written. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. All right. I don't know, is she a reporter?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I thought too.
WATD, I
Okay.
think maybe she's interviewing me after the meeting.
Okay, all right. All right, so how about some raves?
So. everybody
We
looks
both
at me.
looked at you.
How many
Actually,
raves you
you
want?
were stockpiling them, weren't you? Last time, didn't we owe you a couple raves?
I guess, I don't know. I think I have a rave, though, for the Financial Committee that's been working on the fire station. I think you guys, which is Marilyn Brown from the Finance Committee, Catherine Shepard, Christine Kelly, Elizabeth, Lisa Hart. Did I miss somebody? No, and
You.
John Williamson. No, I wasn't hardly there today. But I think, this is kind of outside their normal, and they're all, everybody's basically not getting paid. They're volunteers, so I'm very impressed with their willingness to put in time. Hopefully, it'll pay off.
Is that it? Just one
That's
today?
one rave. Yeah.
Okay, all right. My rave is for Colleen Thompson. I love that she feels so strongly about this, that, she doesn't want to let it go. It is an important issue. We just need to find a way to make it work in a suitable location. Because I think it's definitely a service that's needed. If there's waiting lists for other towns, then, it's obvious that it's something that we need to offer.
I think we'll go back to the other towns too, just again, because Kingston's shut down after COVID. I know I talked to Nancy Butler, and Irving and her used to go to Kingston.
Okay,
So maybe they're reopened, and if not, maybe it's 6 months from now, but that would be a good alternative, at least to take a look.
right. I mean,
Any town that touches us, we ought to reach out to.
definitely, and this might be an opportunity for some type of shared services grants
Yeah,
for us to work to really make it, maybe even expand it.
yeah. You're right.
Good,
We can have a regional podiatrist.
right.
So I heard two things that I wanted to comment on. I totally echo your rave about Colleen. She does amazing work and is very passionate about it. I know this has been a little disappointing and frustrating, and she's doing a darn good job of not getting overwhelmed by that, and we'll keep working at it. So that was one. Two, I heard the phrase shared services, and I think we need to continue to always be on the lookout for shared services that might work and might model and bring forth others. So I'm glad that comes up, and I think it's one of the ways out of the endless financial struggles the town has. And then my third rave is for these super raw early spring days, because we get to contrast that when we hit a really sweet, sublime spring day. It'll seem all the more wonderful compared to a day like today.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be chilly tomorrow morning, too. Poor daffodils are coming up. They're gonna be like, whoa, what was I
That's it.
thinking?
So those are my raves.
All right, so that's all we've got for tonight. So we'll go into executive session. So we'll adjourn our open session. We'll go into executive session, and upon completion of executive session, we will adjourn our meeting. So I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for the purpose of number 2, and that's to conduct strategy sessions and preparations for negotiations with non-union personnel, or to conduct collective bargaining sessions or contract negotiations with non-union personnel. And this is specific, executive session is for police union and fire union negotiations.
Second.
All right, so we've got a motion and a second. Roll call vote. Mr. Trainer?
Yes.
Mrs. Joy, yes. Mr. Russo?
Yes.
All right, so we'll go into executive session, and upon executive session, we will just adjourn.